Howdy ho, YTPC. Easy embers here on the porch. My favorite place to be. It's a beautiful day. Oh my gosh, it's lovely. Saturday. Oof. I am having an absolute nirvana smoke right now. The world is still. I've only had a few nirvana smokes in my life, and this is now another one. McCranies Oak Ridge Flake. Never tried this before. Brand new to me. I'm almost scared to look up if there's more of it because this is just absolute magic. Usually if something's magical, can't get it anymore. I was out here grading papers. I thought I'd try this blend here, and whenever I tried it, I ended up just forgetting about grading papers a whole lot. I just got sucked into it, and my computer died. So whenever the computer gets recharged, I'll look and see if I can get more of this McCranies Oak Ridge. Gosh, I hope so. It's delicious. I don't know what its components are, but it tastes like a straight Virginia flake. But it's probably one of the best straight Virginias I've ever had. First light up, I was shocked. Excuse me. I was shocked because I thought at first I'd made a mistake. I reserved this for Virginias, and I was looking, I was like, oh, it's a Virginia flake. Okay, all right. Whenever I lit it up, I kid you not, the first five to 8 pulls, it tastes like it was possibly like a light, a very mild, lot of Kia blend. I was like, what? It tasted exactly like the char from fixing not like a steak, but I forge from time to time on some stuff, and I've got some oak and some maple and some of those hardwoods that I use in the coal forge because I can't always get coal. And it tasted like there was a distinctive note of that, and I'm wondering, I didn't even remember the name on the bag until after that fact. I was like, oh, well, maybe that's why they call it Oak Ridge. I mean, that's just my mind automatically drawn to it, and it's like, oh yeah, there's oak mentioned in here, but after about 12 pulls it began to change. Some really nice citrus started popping out. It's light, it's not heavy. It's got some citrus to it. There's definitely some lemongrass notes in here. An occasional, like, a hint of towards, like, orange peel. And it's got some of the light, breadier Virginias in it. It's good stuff. It's really, really nice. It's one of those that, if it continues all the way down about halfway through, but if it continues like this, it's one of those that I'm going to start having to judge all other Virginia flakes against and see how it measures up. You love those kind of smokes like that, and food, it goes the same way with food. It's like, oh man, I've had ribs before. I've had about 15 different kinds of ribs, and then you have that one. It's like, oh man, no other ribs have tasted like this before. And then it kind of ruins all the other ribs. But at least you know where to go to find the ribs, That's how it works. That's part of the fun of it. Where did I get this? From a generous fellow. I believe this is from Walt, Carolina Kirk. He let me have a little sample of this. Where did I run into him? Ohio Pipe Show, Columbus. A little area off to the western side of Columbus called Dublin. Man, this is so good. I just, for my own personal record, I wanted to record that I absolutely love this Oak Ridge Flake. But also, I wanted to talk to you guys. Anyone else that's interested in, thinking about, should I make it to the Columbus show or not? Yes. Yes, you should. 100%. This is my third year going for a reason. My first year, whenever I popped in, I met a guy and a couple of his buddies. I believe Josh and Mike. Got to see both of them again this year. Wonderful. Mike Gregor, I think, it's the very first person that I talked to at that show, and he just him and his buddies and him and Josh were just sitting in the corner, and they had another guy with them. I haven't seen him in 2 years, but he's a pretty busy guy. And they called me over, and I will never forget it. Mike offered me a sample of HH Vintage Virginia, and it was so odd. It was like Dr. Pepper. He was right. He said, "Oh, this is like Dr. Pepper tobacco and tobacco. It's gonna taste like Virginia all the way to the bottom. You'll know you're at the bottom whenever it stops tasting like Dr. Pepper." And he's right, and it did. And I can't forget that memory. Second year, I still got to meet up with Mike. I didn't get to see Josh that time, but I got to see Mike again, and he let me sample 7-year-old Orlick. I had never got to sample Orlick before. Awesome. Very, very unique. I now have a 10 of Orlick I am letting age because of Mike. Got to see Mike again this year. Got to talk with him about corn cobs a little bit. I had my, what's it called, Diamondback. I carried a Diamondback with me. Awesome getting to check up with him, talk about some of the new blends coming out. I also got to hang out with Bad Cat for a little bit. Got to see him, talk to him a little bit about his work and his job outside of the tobacco field, and get to see some. I didn't get to sample anything this time. He's got some at least one new blend I'm very curious at, and I'm glad to say that he sold quite a bit of the supply that he brought. I don't know if he sold it all, but he was close whenever I talked to him about it. So yeah, some good stuff from him, and I'm hoping at some point to reach out to him and catch up with him. Maybe we can set up a meeting with him and a couple other guys up in Louisville. Got to hang out with Walt. Got to sample quite a few tobaccos from Walt. Super generous guy. If you haven't got to meet Carolina Kirk, you need to. He's just a great guy. Very nice guy. Lovely wife as well. Got to run into her for a quick second. He had a buddy with him that is thinking about moving down our way, possibly to the Berea area. I hope that works out, not only for him, but selfishly for me. I hope that works out because I want to reach out to him, and we'll get him at one of the Appalachian Ember Society meetups. It's a really good Virginia Flake. I'm so curious. I want to look up and see. I know there's got to be bright leaf. It's probably a mixture of at least 2 different types of Virginia in here. But I'm getting creamy notes off of it. I'm getting something that's more like moments of sweetness. Like it's cool. Got to hang out with oh man, I'm so sorry. I hate whenever I forget people's names. First time meeting this guy. He's a volunteer at the pipe show, helping out. Good Catholic fellow. He's a teacher as well as myself. And so me and him were kind of going back and forth about some of the changes that we're seeing in education right now. Really nice guy, good Tolkien fan, you know, and so we talked a little Lotar for a little bit. I hope I get to see him again. I really do. He's a really good guy. And if you're watching this video and there's somebody in here that I got to meet and talk with and I don't remember your name, please message me, reach out to me. Let's talk. Let me put the name inside here and let me keep up with you. Got to meet a fellow Ethan, Parsimonious Piper, Ethan. And I got to tell you, the wife, whenever I said, oh, that's Parsimonious Piper, I want to go over and say hey to him. The wife said, parsimonious, what does that mean? I said, you know, I have an idea, but I'm not really sure. We probably need a little vocab check there. I think it's like stingy or something like that. And she said, well, I'm going to Google it and look it up. She's like, yeah, it's like miserly, like synonyms are miserly, stingy, iron-fisted. I was like, he does not strike me as an iron-fisted sort of fellow, but whatever. And he's not, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Parsimonious Piper is a very nice guy. Not only does he have excellent facial hair, of which I am jealous, particularly at the mustache. Mine just doesn't grow quite as thick enough to give a nice curl to it as much as I'd like. But he's incredibly generous. Him and Walt both, several people. I got a couple different samples I'm going to be testing along with this really delicious McCranies Flake. From Ethan, he let me try some of what I'd heard from some other people here. And I'm going to mispronounce the Turkish there. Kitabevi. Kitabevi. We have a Turkish family in the area. I may mention this to him. I have not got to try these, but I'm going to. So, ladies and gents, I'm going to give it a try here. A little Haunted Hatchards, and he was telling me a little bit about how this is one of the old bookshops. And I forget the region there. Doesn't have it on here? Bookseller since I don't know. He's got a nice little ghost there in the background. I love the little images he's got. You can't really see the ghost super well, but it's right there in the background. Very cool. Looks like it's in London. I see old Big Ben. It's one of the old bookshops in London. And then Midnight in Munfordville. I can't remember if he said this was his hometown or not. I kind of think it was his hometown. But it's dark with a touch of cherry. Now, Ethan, Parsimonious, if you see this, I will be doing a review on these and kind of give you some of my thoughts on them. I'm excited to try them out. This one in particular, it's got to pass the wife's approval. So we'll see how it holds out there. I told my wife about it, and she opened it up, she smelled it, she went, okay, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. There's sometimes that she really likes when I'm smoking, and other times she's like, no, please don't. I told a couple of the guys, I think it might have been Ethan, I said, there's sometimes whenever I'm in the little office area, I'm smoking something, and if she hears, she listens, and if I'm not saying or talking to anybody, I'm not making a video, she'll come in and say, please don't smoke that again in the house, please. But yeah, most of the time she's pretty cool with it, so I'm interested to let her have a run at it, see what she thinks. Also got a couple of samples from Walt. Got his Burley Flake. Walt, I'm looking forward to giving that Burley Flake a try. It's a hot day today. Whenever it starts, if I can get me a nice morning where it's not automatically in the 90 degrees like it was today. I think it started at like 89 this morning at like 7 in the morning. But if I can get me a decently not hot day, then I'm going to give that Burley Flake a run. I'm excited to give it a try because he's blended that up himself. I think it's got a touch of Latakia in it. I haven't tried a whole lot of Burley Flakes with a touch of Latakia, but I personally really like adding in a touch of burley to Latakia blends. There is I mix up a version myself of Boswell's Northwoods. I don't have a name for it or anything like that, but the Kentucky Highland Piper, he's part of our pipe club, and he brought a big jar of it, Northwoods, and he said, you know, we kind of talked about, all of us tried it, and we're like, it's good, it's just, it's missing something. It's missing a little something. So I had a bulk blend of some burleys that I parsed it out and, you know, and recreated it, and I blended it in, and I really like it now. It's good. Northwoods with a little extra something burley-esque in there. So I'm excited to give that a try. Thank you, Walt. Appreciate that a lot. And thank you, Ethan, very much for letting me be able to sample some of this stuff. What did I get? I got one pipe and just a few tobaccos. Really, I was going this year to get to hang out with people, get to talk with people a whole bunch, and specifically to bring the wife, because the wife came with me to Muletown, and it was overstimulating for her. She's a good sport about it and everything like that, and she would definitely come back with me again. But it was crowded. Anyone who's gone to Muletown the last 2 years, you know full well it's crowded. Awesome atmosphere, phenomenal, very unique, great people. Like, you're shoulder to shoulder, but you're shoulder to shoulder with some of the best human beings in the world. So it can't be too bad. However, this show, for those of you fellas out here that's watching, or ladies, and you got you a significant other you're wanting to take with you, or, you know, your husband's been talking about, you know, going to the Columbus one, you know, some of these pipe shows, and you're a lady and you're unsure but if you're wanting to go, in all honesty, Micah had a wonderful time at Columbus, and she said that she would be happy to return back anytime. Muletown and everything, we got us a little hotel, and it was a fun time, but Columbus was interesting. I tried to tell her what it was like, but it was very funny. I had a good little joke and laugh with it. We came up on Friday night, and I was hoping to make a round through the show before it closed, and it didn't work. I pulled up next to the hotel, and I pointed out the window and said, "There's the tents. That's the smoking tents." She said, "Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess we're here." And I pulled in the parking lot at the hotel. I said, "Let's go inside and see the show first." And we went into the front lobby, and I was going straight back to the show. And as soon as we walked in, saw that there was cloths, tablecloths, all over all the tables, all the vendors. It's like, nah, come on, man. I thought it stayed open till 10, you know. We rolled in the door at 9 o'clock, right on the dot. And I said, I'm going to have an hour to look through. No, it closed up at 9. Apparently, I was looking at a old billboard picture, old poster that said it stayed open till 10. That was my bad. It closed at 9, so I walked in. We were like, oh, okay. So I said, all right, well, no loss. She said, do you want to go out to the smoking tent and meet people? And I said, yeah, we will, but since we're already here, let's go ahead and check into the hotel. I turned 3 steps to the right, went over to the lady, you know, told her my name, got my keys and everything, and whenever I turned back around, I was greeted with a face something like this. And I said, what's wrong? And Micah said, this is the hotel? I said, yes. She said, and the show is in the hotel? And I said, yes. The smoking tent's right outside here. You're going to hang out here? And I said, yes. And I said, and there's shopping all around here, and there's quite a few restaurants, you know. And I said, I can give you the car keys if you want to go somewhere. And she said, I can go up to the room, like, at any point if you're going to be, like, staying out super late. And I said, yeah, here's a key. She's big smile across her face. And, you know, she likes going to events like this with me, but she's also not a smoker, so she just big smile across her face. She said, okay, this is cool. So we went up to the room, dropped stuff off, and then I went down and started hanging out with some people. And about 2 hours in, she said, okay, I think I'm going to go on to bed. She went ahead, went to bed, and got up with her friends and was calling people and all that. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're thinking of going to a pipe show, Columbus Pipe Show is really cool because they do have, it's in the hotel. There's already a room there. There's shopping center around in the area. There's Starbucks. There's all the stuff that the ladies could enjoy. Nice dining options. And you can go to bed whenever you want. You don't have to be a maniac like some of us and stay up till 2 a.m., which I think I went inside the hotel at like 1:40 or something like that in the morning. Didn't even notice the time. Was having such a good time with everything. So there you go. That's my advice for anyone who's hesitant. Bring the wife. She can have a good time. She can hang out in the hotel if she don't want to do anything else. You know, it's a good location. Plenty of room. Wife was not overstimulated. She wasn't freaking out walking through the show the next day. Like, it was all good. May need to ash a little bit here. Yeah. But no, it was a good time. I did pick up some tobacco. I picked up a pipe. I'll show you the pipe later because of something special with this one. Me and the wife kind of went back and forth. And I really do have the best wife. I just do. She's awesome. She was looking around at all the pipes. She's like, oh, this one's super pretty. This one's super nice, you know. And I wasn't going to get a pipe this year at all. We saw 2 of them that I really liked, and she said, you need to get one. It's like, oh, come on. I don't need it. I'm good. I'm fine. She's like, get it. I said, are you sure? And she's like, get it. This is cool. I was like, okay. So I'll show you that pipe later. There's a reason for it. We're going to do it a little bit later. It's really nice. Me and her both. It caught both of our eyes, and then she really preferred this one over another one. So I went ahead and got it, and she ended up writing a really pretty poem while we were sitting outside, and I was giving it its first test smoke. And so I wanted to share that with you a little bit later on. So I'll show you that one. But I got a pipe, and I also got 4 tobaccos. I got little samples from very generous and kind people, as I've told you beforehand. I want to show you the 4 I got. I was sitting there at the tables and talking with some different people about, you know, what I gotten to try, and just being honest with you, like, whenever I got serious into the smoking, in the sampling of everything, it was like the year after we lost McClellan's and Dunhill. I started in that same time, so I watched YTPC videos and things like that, and I was starting to buy pipes at the same time. Everyone was like, not gonna get this anymore, not gonna get this anymore. I was like, what is this? Where can I find it? I haven't got to try it. So I was talking with some of the guys at the table. Man, this is good. And I was like, man, I've only got to try one McClellan blend, and that was Christmas Cheer. I said, I couldn't even tell you what, like, everyone talks about the anniversary, you know, and I see an occasional, like, Blackwood's Flake or Dark Star or something like that, but I said, I can't even tell you the names of the blends that they had. I don't know. I don't know what they are. I never even saw. They never even hit the shelf, you know. And I said, the other one's Dunhill. I said, I got to try one Dunhill blend, and that was Nightcap. That's it. I've only had Dunhill's Nightcap, and I really liked it. I just finished. I saved that one. I had it for 5 years, and I was slowly working down through it, and I just finished it off this year. It's a great one to read with at night. But I consider myself blessed. I just went ahead and picked up a couple of other Dunhills. So this is what I was able to get at the show. Durbar. Never tried it. Don't know what to expect. It looks like it's got a lot of Kia to it. Virginian Orientals. I really like Orientals, so I'm hoping, I've heard from a couple other people, it may be Oriental Forward. I would be down with that. I really like Oriental Forward blends. And Dubs 3-year matured Virginia. I don't know how I like this one or not, but it will give me a chance to sample more Dunhill. So I am very thankful for that. picked it up. Also went ahead and pulled the trigger on one I nearly got last year at this same show, Vintage Syrian. Now, I tried Syrian tobacco, and I don't know if it was Vintage Syrian or not, but it was there was a fellow there, a very nice fellow I met on my first year at Columbus, and he had 4 or 5 tins laid out. It was like Buttera's Kingfisher or something like that, Syrian, and you know, he had several things laid out. He said, I've got too much of them. The seal was already popped on them. And so he said, I've got enough of them for me. Seal's popped. I brought them to the show. Try it. So I did. I filled up a pipe there at his table, filled up a bowl, and I remember trying that Syrian and thinking, wow, you know. The seal had been popped on it, who knows when, and it was a little dry, but it had such a deep richness to it. I remember there being like a wine note being present in it, and it was like this leathery wine, which, you know, I wouldn't always think would go well together, but it reminded me a little bit of some of like Tom Ford cologne. There's like a leather and like cherry sort of thing. It works. And so I had my eye on it, and this year I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna try. So I grabbed that. There was one other blend that I got, and it's purely just because I am impatient. Escudo. I have never gotten the chance to try Escudo. I know it is a cornerstone of the tobacco community. This one is from 21, so we're heading on about 5 years. In a few more months, it hit six years. It's 5-6 years age on it. I have 110 of Escudo. I wanted to age it because I keep hearing from people, and those of you that are experts, experienced, you can testify to this or not. I hear people say 5 years, it's good, it's great. I hear 7 years, it's amazing. 10 years, unbelievable. 20 years, 15 to 20 years, and you're ready to sell your house for it. So I'm impatient, and I'm never guaranteed 5 more years, 1 more year. So here we go. There's a 10 here that's, you know, got 5 to 6 going on 6 years age on it. And so I'm like, you know what? At some point this year, I'm going to crack that open, and I'm going to give it a try and see if it's worth waiting around to, you know, let my 10 that I bought last year keep aging, or, you know, should I just go ahead and be like, nah, it's not gonna be for me, you know, or something like that. So we'll see. And that's about it, man. That's my experience. Great time, man. There's a lot of people that I recognized and I saw, but I didn't get to talk with them, like Beans and Kane Rod and people like that. Really, really cool. Got to sit down with one of the pipe makers. He was selling these little tampers here and things like that. He was really nice to me. I talked with him for a long time about pipe design and welding and some different stuff. And so he's like, here, just try this out. And he gifted me with this at the table. And I gotta say, anyone who's making tampers or something like that, there is something to that angle, being able to have that angle instead of going like this number. The guy knew what he was talking about. So pretty cool. It's a neat time, guys. It's a really neat time. I'm loving this. Somebody's watching this, maybe you can tell me the bad news that there's not any more, or tell me the really good news that, yeah, McCranies still has this Oak Ridge Flake, because it may be my new go-to Virginia Flake. It's dynamite. Well, I haven't made a whole lot of videos because my job is keeping me really busy. I got the new job, and I'm settling in well with it. And so, yeah, I'm out here today grading papers, and I thought I'd take this time. Thanks so much for watching, spending some time with me. We're hitting that super long 30-minute mark here. I am sorry I ramble. Much to talk with you about. I may include a couple pictures here at the end from the show. I didn't take a whole lot, but the wife may have taken a few. I think she was taking pictures mostly of me. She is a little biased. But she had a great time, and so she actually I think she's talking now that she would like to go and try out Chicago as well, which I'm wanting to go to Chicago at some point. I've never been, but there was some people at the table there that was saying, hey, you guys need to go to Chicago. It'd be a great time. So yeah, maybe we can convince her to let me go on that one before too long. Best wishes to you all. I hope you guys are staying well, and I'll see you on the next one.